Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. Welcome to Grandpa's Kitchen. I know it's been a long time since you guys have seen me. God, I haven't made a video in something like 4 weeks, and there's reasons for that. Stick around and I'll do some explaining. But I wanted to get something out to you. I've been hearing so much from everybody. It's like, you miss me and I miss you too. So first off, this shirt that I'm wearing is the last of the winter drop. My buddy Nico comes up with these fantastic designs. So go over to the website www.boringoldguy.com/shop and pick up yourself some. Anyway, some of you are gonna remember this one. You look back at some of the older videos and you can see that I put a seasoning on this, what do you call it, thrift store treasure. There's my doggy. Hi, sweetie. Yeah, I know. I'm talking to my people. Anyway, at the time, I promised that I would bake something in it. And now is a really good time. We're in the deep, dark depths of winter, and let's make some oat muffin cups using my cast iron gem pan. All right, stick around. All right, so the first thing we'll do is we'll set this to bake at 350 and throw the muffin pan into the oven. I'm working with a hot muffin pan. There you go. When you're working with a cast iron baking appliance like this, be it a bread loaf, a corn stick pan, a cast iron muffin pan like I've got here, it's important to heat it up first. All right, let's get some ingredients mixed up. All right, so I'm gonna mix up some dry ingredients first. So I'm gonna go with 2 cups of whole oat. Now this is the rolled oats. Don't use the quick oats, the steel cut. You want the whole oats. All right, and now we're gonna go with 1 cup of an oat flour. Now this recipe is really forgiving. I mean, you can use any kind of flour. I have ground up oats and used that. I've used whole wheat baking flour. I've used oat flour like this. Bob's Red Mill 1-in-1 mix. R.I.P. Bob. We just heard that, the founder of Bob's Red Mill just died. So, bless his heart. Left a good legacy. All right, so continuing on here. I'm going to put in some almonds, and we are going to use 1/4 of a cup of a slivered almond. We're going to use 1/2 cup of Crasins. I'm going to use a tablespoon of flaxseed. Just because. Like I said, this recipe is very forgiving. You can put in almost anything you want. Once you get the basics of it, you can just kind of mix and match. You can use walnuts instead of almonds. Whatever floats your boat, right? All right, so we have some kosher salt. We're going to use 1/4 teaspoon. Don't need much. What else? We are going to use some baking powder. 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. There you go. And last thing that'll go into the dry mix would be a pumpkin spice. And we're going to use 2 teaspoons of that. And let's get the shaker off. All right. More. And I like pumpkin spice, so if you don't like it quite as much, you can use less. If you like it a lot, you can use more. Like I say, the recipe is very forgiving. All right, so that's it for the dry ingredients. And we're just going to give them a quick stir. go. And we'll just set those off to the side for now. We'll start mixing up the wet ingredients. All right, we're going to start this off with 2 eggs. Messy, messy. All right, so we're just going to give those things a light beat, just to start breaking things down. All right. Need 1 1/4 cup of milk. Now you can use any kind of milk. I've used almond milk, regular milk. I prefer the regular milk. It's me. Yeah. Okay, 1 1/4. There we are. Okay. Do a little cleanup. Got some egg mess. Okay, pumpkin puree. We're going to need a cup of that. Now this is not the like pumpkin pie mix that has the spices in it. This is just pure pumpkin puree. And all of the ingredients are, you know, you don't have to be fussy about your measurements. You say this is so forgiving. It's going to make a dozen cups. Muffin cups. All right, give that a little bit of a stir. Just sort of blend things together a little bit. All right, so the last thing I'm going to do here is add the sweetener. So you can use maple syrup, you can use molasses, you can use honey, or you can use sugar. Today I'm going to use brown sugar because it's what I've got. All right, so this is my new kitchen. I'm still getting some things set up here. All right. So as far as the sugar goes, if I used maple syrup, I would want to use twice as much. Let me give this thing a quick rinse off, because this is the one that I need. All right. So I'm going to use about, say about 1/8 of a cup of this brown sugar. And we'll just get it in here and start breaking it down. All right. There we go. All right. Get that in there and start dissolving it. And then we're ready to put all of this together. Okay, here we are. Dry ingredients, wet ingredients. Just mix them together. And if you've got a KitchenAid appliance, you can use that, or a hand beater. You know, there's nothing about this that's particularly hard, and it creates a very wet mix. It's easy to work with. Just get those things blended together real well so you can't see any of the flour. No dry pockets. Mix that wet ingredient around very well. All right, now you have the option of letting this sit for a while. You could even leave it sitting in the refrigerator overnight. Now at this point, you got the option of letting this sit around for a while. The longer you let it sit, the more the oats are going to absorb the moisture. And when they're baked, that'll help fluff things up a little bit. So there's not a lot of rise in these cups. There's a little bit, but there's no yeast involved here. You know, just a little bit of baking powder. So you get a tiny bit of rise, but not all that much. But what I'm going to do is start filling up that muffin cup and let's get them baking. All right. So let's pull that hot muffin pan out of the oven. Go. Now you're going to want to coat it. I'm using an avocado oil. It's a good high temperature oil. Doesn't have a taste, which is good. You know, I don't want to taint the flavor of the muffins. So we're just going to spray down those guys. All right, so we'll start filling this thing up. Now just distribute this evenly. Again, very forgiving. This is your kitchen, right? All right, let's get the last of that stuff out of there. Kind of top things off a little bit. See how I'm doing on evenly distributing things. You know, some of these guys are going to turn out just a little bit bigger than the others, and that's all right. They all taste the same. All right, there you go. Now what we'll do is put them back into the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. Again, that oven temperature is 350. All right, just like that. Okay, so I promised that I'd tell you a little bit about what's happening with me. And first you can see that I have gone through a move, right? So I am in my new kitchen. I love my new kitchen. But again, you know, we are in the deep, dark days of winter. And I have been struggling a little bit with my seasonal affective disorder, the winter blues, and I know I'm not the only one who gets them. While I love rain, I do. I am a pluviophile. I love rain. However, the endless cold and gray and mud just really starts to get you down, right? You know, we all, as humans, we need sunlight in our eyes. We need vitamin D. I know a lot of people use artificial lights in the wintertime to help with this. You know, I basically just kind of struggle through. So that's what's been going on with me. I haven't been doing any hiking or camping or getting out doing a whole hell of a lot. I've been going through a move. I moved in at the beginning of February and the house is still a wreck. You know, it's like there's boxes everywhere. I basically have this part of the kitchen clean. You can't see behind the camera where the mess is. But you know, when I get overwhelmed, I kind of tend to shut down. And it's you know, I suppose it is part of a depression. You know, procrastination and, you know, laziness can be symptoms of depression. And I think that's where I am, you know, in the winter blues, the winter blahs. So that's where we are right now. And that's why you haven't seen me for a while. And I really appreciate everybody reaching out. I'm getting a lot of comments and, you know, people hoping that I'm okay and whatnot. I'm fine, and we're going to get through this. We'll get through it together, right? Spring is coming. Wildflowers are coming. Sunshine and warmth is coming. Okay, so we're going to give this thing about 20 minutes in the oven, and I will show you the finished product. All right. All right. They are ready. I can smell them. Here's my girl. She can smell them too. All right, let's get something to set it on so I don't ruin my countertop. Oh, baby. Oh, just look at those things. Oh. Oh, marvelous. Okay, so we're going to let these sit and cool off a little bit. And as it cools, these things are going to pull away from the sides of the cups. And they'll come out real easily. All right, these things have had a chance to cool off. The pan is still pretty darn hot. But you can see, they just pop right off. They just pull away from the sides of the pan as it starts to cool. Oh man, oh, these things are so hot. Ah, smells marvelous. Whoa, steam coming off that sucker. Mmm. Oh God, I love this recipe. All right, so I will put this down in the description. And there you go. So that's going to be it for this week's video. Thanks for joining me. And I will see you again soon. Until next time, take a hike. Be blessed.